Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Bonnie, the voice on your computer or iPad or phone or whatever. I'll step to camera in a moment here. And welcome to your 9 a.m. Vinyasa. We'll spend about 60 minutes together. But to start, let's begin in a grounding position. So you get to choose. Some folks like to choose a seated position to start. Maybe you choose to lay on your back. Maybe you lay on your stomach. Maybe you take child's pose. And then if it feels safe, perhaps you close your eyelids down. And then start to bring a bit more awareness and depth to your breath. Morning. We are just starting our grounding meditation. We'll just spend a few minutes there working on awareness, working on depth of breath. And then empty out whatever happens to be in your lungs right now. We'll all join with an empty set of lungs. And then imagine filling about a third of your lung capacity. Take a sip of air in and then pause. Pause. And then sip in another third of what you think your capacity is. Filling up most of the way here, pausing once again. And then take another breath of air in and fill up your full set of lungs. And then hold your full set of lungs for a moment. Exhale, let all the air back out into your room. Empty set of lungs to start. Inhale, take a third of your capacity in. Pause, holding that little bit of air. Inhale, take another third of your capacity in, breathing in, pausing. And then finally, inhale all the rest of the way, a full set of lungs, holding. And then exhale, let it all back out. Good. Resume your normal pattern of breath. But maybe see if you can smooth it out. Noticing any ragged edges. And then make your way into a tabletop position next. So in tabletop, find your hands about underneath your shoulder heads, knees are underneath your hip points, and start moving through some cat-cow breath. Every time you inhale, allow your belly button to drop, your tail kind of flicks up into the air, chest forward. Exhale, round, essentially doing the opposite with your spine, pushing your hands down, gazing towards your knees. And do that over and over. Inhales for spinal extension. Exhales for spinal flexion. You can do this with your eyes closed even. That is an idea. When you remove your sense of vision, perhaps it helps you tune in more to the proprioception. That is the sense of your body moving through space. Maybe other movements start coming into play. You can continue to cat-cow, or you can start dipping your hips side to side. You can combine the ideas. Maybe it's a cat-like shape while you dip your hip to the side. Maybe it's a cow-like shape while you dip your hip to the other side. Or maybe you make something else up. You can circle your torso one way. You can circle your torso the other. Perhaps you're working through any cricks and pops that may come along through your hips, your wrists, your back. And then eventually make your way into a child's pose. You can take a version where your knees and your feet are together, or maybe feet together, knees apart. This version I'm demonstrating here perhaps is a bit more hip flavored. And then let your forehead sink down towards floor. Maybe you massage your forehead. You can roll your head left, right on the floor. And something fun I've been doing lately is taking my thumbs and then kind of digging them a little firmly into the temple region. Maybe into your hairline, maybe closer to the brow. But you will be able to find a spot that feels kind of zingy. It gives you a little bit of sensation. If you find that spot, press a little more firmly. See if you can sense any sensation radiating out from that spot. For example, if I really press on my left temple, I can almost feel sensation in the left jaw. That is not a coincidence. Maybe you wiggle your jaw looser, increasing the gap between your back molars. And then let's meet in a version with the arms outstretched. Now notice where your hips are. Try to keep them exactly where they are. But then inhale to pick up your forehead a wee bit. Crawl your hands towards the right. Hips stay put. Crawling the hands towards the right, and then resettle down. You may find that your forehead doesn't reach down towards the mat as far. We've added a little lateral stretch here. Imagine pulling your left hip back. Maybe crawling your fingers rightward a touch more. Inhale, pick your forehead up. Crawl your hands through center, crawling them towards the diagonal left. Settling the forehead down. Still smoothing out the breath. Maybe reaching the fingers a tiny bit more leftward. Maybe not. Inhale, crawl your hands back through center. Find your way into downward facing dog next. So palms pressing down into the floor, fingerprints pressing down. Hips go up and back. Imagine pulling your belly button in through your body towards your spine. You may bend the knees a little or a lot here. You can walk the dog, so to speak, bending each knee in turn. Some folks like to play with directionality of the feet here. You can wave your feet leftwards. You can wave your toes rightwards. Maybe you wave your body's weight back and forth from plank into down dog. Maybe you simply hold down dog. Maybe you play with picking up a limb. You can pick up an arm for a moment. You can pick up a leg for a moment. Be sure to do the mirror image though. Pick up the other arm. Pick up the other leg. The next time you breathe out, take many teeny weeny steps up towards your hands. Find yourself in a forward fold. Knees could be bent a little or a lot. And I invite you to shake your head softly or nod it softly. Let your neck muscles relax and your head feel super heavy. Soften into your knees a wee bit. Inhale to stand up and circle your hands up, looking up as your fingers touch. And then exhale, draw your palms down to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Good. Circle the arms again, breathing in. Exhale, bow into forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, a long spine. Exhale, bend your knees some to plant your hands. Step back into high plank. Pause for an inhalation. Exhale, land onto your stomach. Flatten feet tops. Inhale for a low baby cobra. Your elbows work towards midline. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make use of your knees if you wish. Good. Inhale, come to tippy toes. Exhale, hop or step towards your hands. Inhale, half lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, stand and circle the arms. Breathe out, immediately bow back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant palms, hop or step back, high plank. Pause for an inhale. Exhale, land on your stomach or chaturanga. That's an elbow bend at 90 degrees. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to tippy toes. Exhale, hop or step. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. Breathe out, immediately fold. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Hold for a breath in. Exhale, low plank or stomach. Inhale, chest opens. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, come to toes. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle and stand. Breathe out, hands to heart center. Pause here. Maybe close the eyelids down. Notice your center of gravity and perhaps play with it. You can rock your weight slightly forward. Feel the heels ever so slightly lift off. Maybe send more weight into your heels, almost to the point where you almost feel like falling. And vice versa. Left, right works. Front, back works. And then tighten your midsection while you play with your center of gravity. Maybe you circle your body's weight clockwise or anti-clockwise. And see if you can detect your core muscles, making the adjustments to keep you indeed upright. Find your center, your true center of gravity here. And then stand firmly into your right foot. We'll take tree pose to start. Tree. Maybe your foot remains grounded. Toes can touch down. Maybe they touch down closer. A smaller spot will be harder to balance on. A wider stance will be easier. Maybe your foot is on the inside of your calf, or the inside of your thigh, but definitely not the inside of your knee. Do what you will with your hands. Maybe they're counterbalance wings. Maybe they're branches that reach up. Maybe your gaze is reaching up. And then add a back bending element to your tree pose. Knit your abdomen together. That protects your low back as you puff your chest forward and up. Puffing the chest forward and up while you're balancing on one leg. Inhale, right yourself to a more regular tree pose. And then exhale, hug your left knee in towards yourself. Still working on your balance. Imagine driving left knee towards left underarm. Reaching your crown higher into the air. And then see if you can keep the knee as close to your abdomen as you can while you go hands free. Good. Exhale, step the foot back behind you, high lunge. Hands reach up. We'll go back to the position you were just in, knees in front. Give the knee a hug. Left knee comes in. And then exhale, step back, high lunge. Working on this transition, trying to do it with ninja-like stealth. Inhale, the knee comes in. Exhale, stepping back with grace. Inhale, knee comes in, hug for a moment. Step back with grace. Do this a couple more times. Ooh, it's tricky on the balance. The next time you find yourself in high lunge, stay there. Ooh. And then your right hand finds your right hip. Reach up and over towards the right. You feel a great stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. And then exhale, spiral down with left hand, Dragonfly Twist. Right hand reaches up. Imagine trying to drive your right knee forward while simultaneously trying to pull the right hip back. It's like a tricky tension of opposites. Imagine picking up your left hip while you attempt to stack your shoulder one over the other. You can look up at your wiggling free right fingers. Maybe you're looking out to the right. Maybe you're looking down. Keep the leg. Start circling the arm. Your arm, your humeral head is a ball and socket joint where it attaches to your torso. So this ball and socket joint, maybe you roll it one way. Maybe you roll the joint the other way, circling this away, circling that away. Maybe adding a more out to the side motion. Holding the ocean down. We will have this heavy and twice this loud. And then place your hand back near the top of your mat, downward facing dog. You may opt to hold down dog. Anytime I call for a vinyasa, you could just hang out here. Or inhale for a vinyasa, moving forward into plank. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, chest opens. And then exhale, dog. Inhale, come to tippy toes. And then exhale, hop or step forward. In breath, half lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Tree pose standing on the left. Pick your tree. Where you place your foot is up to you. And then stand tall. What you do with your hands again. find that hand planted, step back, down dog. Option to hold or option to vinyasa. Inhale, move forward, high plank. Exhale, low plank. In breath, the chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, make it a little smaller. Walk your feet forward or your hands back. It is a short little down dog. Much shorter than what would feel normal. Maybe your heels kiss the floor in this shortened version. Pull your belly button in and then get a little stronger in your left hand, your left shoulder. Your right hand is going to leave its position and trace a diagonal line towards underneath your face. You can have your hand, your fingers propped here underneath your face. Maybe the hand traces towards the pinky edge of your left leg. You can hang on to the outside of leg, ankle. For a little bit of a twist, maybe you try peeking under your left underarm. Pull your ribs in. Keep pushing down through your left fingerprints. And then return your right hand back where it began. Continue to breathe. Other arms turn. Left fingers trace underneath your face. Pause there or move towards the pinky edge of your right leg. Hang on to the outside of your calf or ankle. Perhaps you try peeking underneath your underarm. We got this. Continue to breathe. Replace left hand where it began. And then take many teeny weeny steps up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Breathe out, refold. One more half lift, but this time hold it. Again, tighten your abdomen. See if you can get super light on your fingertips as they rest near the tops of your shins. If you're light on your fingers, you know your core, your back is keeping you in this position. Imagine your crown shooting out towards the front of your room. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. And then exhale, immediately bow back down. Inhale, half lift. This time, exhale, touch the fingers down, step your right foot behind you. Inhale, high lunge just for a moment. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward, high plank if you want it. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale to dog. Inhale, right foot into the air. Exhale, step forward. Step the other foot forward, in breath for a half lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. Exhale, bow, forward bend. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, touch down, step left foot back. In breath, high lunge for a moment. Exhale, down dog. Vinyasa if you want. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, bum up and back. Inhale, three-legged dog, left foot lifts. Exhale, step forward. Inhale for a half lift as you step your other foot in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand, circle the hands. And then exhale, hands to heart center, pause. Now imagine picking up your toes from the mat and then flare them open and then set these flared toes back down on the mat. All right, keep that grip with your right toes, your right foot. Come in for a quad stretch. Reach your left hand back, find your left outer ankle. Your right hand can stay at your heart. Maybe you counterbalance. Perhaps it reaches up. You're growing your branch, your singular branch. Or maybe you sweep your hand back behind you. Two hands can hold the same foot while you retract the shoulder blades, trying to open the front. Keep a slight tuck in your tail. This will increase the stretch in the front of your leg and hip. Good. And then go hands free. Try to keep the heel near your bum. Hands free. You're kicking the heel towards your bum. And then reverse the direction at your knee. Start kicking your heel ahead of you. Try to lift the toes higher up as you try to maintain your balance. Again, you can hang on to something if that gives you a little bit more assurance. And then bring the heel back towards your bottom, squeezing your biceps femoris. Inhale, bring the heel forward. Exhale, squeeze towards bum. Inhale, in front. Exhale, behind. Inhale, in front. Exhale, go behind. One more in front. And then exhale, step the foot towards the back of your mat. Whew. High lunge for a moment, but then twist it. Exhale your chest towards your right. Let's make a flow out of this. Inhale, a regular high lunge. Exhale, twist. In breath. Exhale. Keep going like this. Every time you breathe out, you corkscrew rightwards. Every time you inhale, you unring yourself. The next time you find yourself in the twisty version, stay there. Keep length in your spine as you take your right hand, the one at the back, towards your back leg, and then reach up and over. And then really say hello to your hip flexor. Phew. Dragonfly twist again. Left hand comes down, right hand up. Tack the right hip back, bend the knee deeper. Pick up left hip. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whole dog or flow. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, chest lifts, elbow squeeze in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. Inhale, right foot into the air. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Holding this open-hipped three-legged dog. Attempt to heavy your left heel while you try to lift the right knee higher. Right armpit, try to level it with the left one. There's a tendency for it to spiral open rightwards to attempt to get the knee higher. Woo! Exhale, step the foot between your hands. Whew. Inhale, step the foot in, come in for a half lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, flare your toes. Do that crazy thing with your toes and then set them down. You've got this crazy grip with your left foot. Hang on to the right one for a stretch. One-handed or two-handed. puffing the chest if you're in the two-handed version. In whichever version, you're standing tall, essentially with the left side of your body into Tadasana. Slight tuck of the pelvis, of the tailbone rather. And then this heel towards bum thing, try to maintain that when you go hands free. The foot will fall some. And then on an inhale, bring the foot in front of you. Exhale, heel towards bum. Ooh, inhale, kick forward. Exhale, curl back. Keep doing this a few times. The next time your foot's in the front, pause there for a second. Kick the heel back, high lunge. Ooh. My foot kind of went crampy there. If your foot goes crampy, give it a little love. And then twist, exhaling, facing left. In breath. And then out breath. And then flow like this. One exhale, you do a thing. One inhale, you do another. The next time you are arrived in the twisted version, your left hand finds something behind you. Maybe it's your back hip, maybe it's your back leg. As you reach up and behind, up and over perhaps. Slight tuck of your tail. You'll feel more hip flexor stretch. Exhale, right hand comes down, Dragonfly Twist, second time this side. Pick up the right hip. Stack left shoulder over right. Your gaze may be down, sideways, up. Exhale, hand comes down, downward facing dog. Your option, hold or flow. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank or land on your stomach. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Keep breathing, of course, while you hold this shape. Imagine clawing your fingerprints into the floor ahead of you. Imagine length between ears and shoulders as you try to level the left armpit down while trying to get left knee higher. Good job, not easy. Exhale, step the foot near your thumbs. Inhale for halfway lift as you step the foot forward. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up, and then immediately go back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, touch down, step your right foot behind you. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale for flow if you want. Breathing in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, chest opens. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, come to tippy toes. Exhale, hop or step forward. In breath for a half lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. Exhale, bow, forward bend. In breath, half lift. Exhale, step left foot behind. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, down dog. Option to hold down dog. Inhale to move forward. Exhale to move down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale to tippy toes. Exhale, hop or step forward. In breath, half lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, stand up, circle up. And then exhale, bow back down. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. This time, bend your knees slightly, plant both palms, step back, high plank. High plank party. If you want, maybe you're on your knees. Claw your fingerprints into the floor. Imagine trying to spin the inner line of your elbow more forward. That's an external rotation of your upper arms. Firm your stomach, slightly tuck your tail. Oh, say hello to your front body. Push the floor away. Exhale, land the knees, take a rest in child's pose. Sweep the hands back behind you. Let your shoulders go soft. Maybe you wiggle your forehead left and right on the floor. Maybe you wiggle your whole body, your hips, left, right along the floor. Maybe do that fun thing again, where you take your thumbs and you dig them into your temples, finding a juicy spot to self-massage. A zingy spot maybe, hopefully, that maybe radiates out to another interesting spot. And then free your hands back in front of you. Let's take another little short downward dog. A little mini dog. Maybe it's something cute like a little terrier, I don't know. Definitely not a Great Dane. A shorty dog, shorter than you would normally set up a down dog. I'll go sideways perhaps for illustration purposes. And then your right foot stays exactly where it is. Pick up your left one to cross at the ankle behind you. Your tippy toes will find the floor towards the right side of your mat. And then play with bending your knees a little bit. Ooh. Say hello possibly to the outside of your hip. Breathe here as you claw your fingerprints again. And then switch legs. Left foot goes back to its normal spot. Right foot crosses at the ankle behind. Toes find the floor. And then play with the knee position or the leg position. Ooh, until you find a juicy sensation outside of the left hip. Pull in your ribs. Slight tuck of your tail even here. And then refine your feet in a more normal down dog. Something of a little longer stance. And then inhale, wave forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Phew. All right, pick up your right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hip. Exhale, knee towards nose. Your shoulders come over your hands. Round your spine like you're mimicking a cat pose. Inhale, knee comes back up. Exhale, right knee towards left wrist. Touch. Right wrist. As high up the right arm as you can. Across towards the left arm as high as you can. Back down to left wrist. The knee goes back up and behind you, three-legged dog. Ooh, exhale, step the foot to the outside of your right hand. Lizard lunge set up. So you get to choose your lizard. Maybe your back knee is down or up. What you do with your front foot is up to you. It could be flat on the floor, sole facing down. Or maybe you've rocked to the knife edge of it. Feel free to play. You can push your weight left and right slightly, gently, mindfully. All right. An option, you don't have to, an idea. You get a little firmer in your left hand and left shoulder. That'll bear most of your front body's weight. As you take your arm, your right hand rather, towards the inside of your front knee, and you can use that to crane yourself, twisting yourself more rightward. That heel to bum action we did earlier, maybe you add that here. Kicking your heel in towards yourself for that bicep curl in your leg. Maybe you add the hand grab, perhaps for a bit more of a stretch element as opposed to a strength element. But that is up to you. Come back to a foot down, back foot down lizard. And then replace the sole of your foot down if it was on any other surface, like the knife edge. And then we'll try something called shoulder pressing. So imagine you could try to wear your knee on top of your right shoulder head. To warm up for that, with your two palms down underneath your shoulder heads here, push your weight back behind you, straightening your front leg any amount, and then bring your weight back forward. Exhale, push back. Inhale, wave forward. Go back and forth a couple times. Your hip and leg, where they join, are also a ball and socket joint. All right. Moving a few times, hopefully that warms things up, loosens things up a bit. To try shoulder pressing, make a little C-shaped grip out of your right hand, and then use that around your heel, cupping your heel, sliding your weight back some. See if you can imagine putting your shoulder in the crook of your knee. Try to snug that in, shoulder to crook of knee, and then you can slide back forward for a hip stretch. Maybe you use your hand, your C-shaped gripper, to try to get more of that backpack action. Crook of the knee, as high up your arm as you can muster, as high up your outer arm. And then unpretzel yourself. De-human pretzel yourself and find yourself in high plank. Push down through your hands. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, down dog. Pick up your left foot, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hip. As you exhale, knee towards nose, rounding your spine. Inhale, knee comes back up. And then exhale, knee towards right wrist. Touch. Move across left wrist. Drag the knee up high on your arm. Cross to the other arm. Go back to the right wrist. Three-legged dog, knee goes up and back. Exhale, lizard. Land the foot outside your pinky. You can land your right knee or keep it elevated, finding your lizard. If your wrists need a break, maybe you come down onto an item. Your elbows can find a block, blanket, couch cushion. Other ways to rest the wrists. Maybe you are stacking them, stacking your fists underneath the fronts of your shoulder heads. Feel free to wave your weight about. This time, perhaps you're drawing circles with your hips and torso, going clockwise, anti-clockwise, waving left, right. All right. Come to a version where your right knee is down. Your right hand is sturdy as you twist leftwards. Maybe you add the biceps femoris curl, heel towards bum. Maybe you add a hand grab. Maybe you don't. And then set the foot back down if it was up. Your two hands come underneath your shoulder heads, and then start kind of flossing your weight back and forth, straightening the front leg any amount. Generally inhaling to go forward, exhaling to shift back. And then for fun, perhaps trying that shoulder pressing maneuver. Make a C-shaped grip out of your thumb and fingers. Use that to capture your heel. And then slink your weight back, lowering the torso until your back of your elbow, back of your arm finds the inside of your knee. Maybe you keep rocking back and forth, encouraging tissues to loosen. Maybe you try to sink lower towards floor. Maybe your C-shaped gripper has traveled up your leg as you try to wrap this backpack strap around yourself. Continue to breathe. Even a sensation might be taut. And then unpretzel yourself. 2 palms down. Find yourself in high plank. On an exhale, find yourself in low plank or on your stomach. In breath, chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing. Phew. Breathing in, breathing out. The next time you exhale again, land your knees down. And then find yourself in a seated position. Feet forward. We'll do a seated figure 4. Outside of your ankle will come a top left knee. And then keep a strong flexion at your foot. The strong flexion will help to minimize any weird torquing that might be happening at the right knee joint. This motion would want to come from the hip, not from the knee. Knees are not meant to rotate, hips are. If this is plenty, hang out here. If you want more hip flavor, walk your front foot in closer to yourself. This will bring your chest closer to your shin. This will increase hip sensation. Good. For fun, optional, extracurricular, your right hand maybe finds your right foot, and then use that to pull the whole unit of the right leg more right. That'll increase sensation. Maybe for fun, you also turn your chest away. Like you're trying to get your sole of foot and your chest to face the same direction. Ooh, hip, 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 hip. All right, untwist your torso if you added that. And then wiggle your front foot out towards the right so that you're setting up for a fire log position. So as you may see here, fire log is not my pose, so I take the outside edge of my right foot and park it on the inside corner of my knee. That makes it friendlier. Yet I still have gaps. A block, rolled up towel could come in handy here if you also have gaps. You don't have to block it. You don't have to add a towel, but keep that strong flexion in your right foot still. You can hang out tall. You can fold over your legs. Ooh, if your hip is feeling taut, maybe you use a little self-massage. Give it some love. Encourage it to let loose a little. Live a little, perhaps. If you fold it over, right yourself. Upright posture. And then make your way into your resting pose, your final pose. Maybe you unfire log your legs and it's a simple cross-legged seat. Maybe you lay down. Maybe you retake child's pose. But allow your body to calm down and allow your mind to do the same. Eyelids can close if you want. And try not to do anything for the next 2 minutes. I'll be watching the time for you. Quite literally, just sitting here, just lying here. Shavasana. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe you touch each finger pad to your thumbs in turn. Or you can point and flex your feet or point and flex your feet. You can take a good morning stretch, long limbs, long fingers. And eventually find yourself in a seated position. Eventually. Maybe long after the rest of the class is done. So maybe you still stay low. But I'll start to sign off from here. Thank you so much for joining me for our 60-minute yoga flow.